Sorry, everyone.
Good evening and welcome to ExtraTyne on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Tonight we've got a full house. It's just Laura and I chewing the fat. Maybe it's me and Raza, or maybe it's the three of us, but today we're actually blessed. We've got a full house. I'm tempted to call us the Four Amigos, but I think that moniker's already been taken. So we are the four fruit bats, we'll just say. Right, so today we have this me and Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
She's here. And we're joined just below me. I've got Ian. Good afternoon. Good evening, Ian. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm good.
Nice to see you. Now, Ian has got a very intricate set of balances going on with his phone and his iPad and a charger and I think it's a PlayStation remote control. So if he does drop out at some point, please don't hold it against him. But thank you for joining us. If you want to go back and have a look at their Leeds preview, that's what, if you see the gentleman just down underneath Laura there. Chris, good afternoon. Good evening to you too.
You'll get it right. You'll get it right, Roger. Good evening.
Eventually. See, Ian, I talked about nerves before. There we go. I haven't had a drink. I haven't had any Captain Cooks tonight. So not much has happened really. Transfers, no. Few rumours. Looks like we might get this Bruno kid, but then Leon went out and flat out denied it. But that might be something to do with their position on the stock market. Players are being signed by other teams. We're floating around. Dan Burn, other players being named relentlessly. So it has been busy in a sense, but there's actually been nobody in through the door while the lads are away in Jeddah. So I suppose we might as well get into very quickly. I know the lads on the All Smiley Faces podcast had covered the Leeds game. Fantastic. I would say a shithouse. Would that class as a shithouse of a result? Did we shithouses?
Unexpected.
Not one of our best shithouse. It's not up there with Chelsea at home, but I'd say second half will probably look the better team. Yeah,
we're definitely grew into the game. Obviously, Chris, I know you and Ian chatted about this on before the Leeds game. Did you make predictions about the game, Ian? Is your prediction was it right on, or were you a little bit off there?
No, it's never right. I went for 3-1 to Leeds. Gladly, I was wrong. But whatever I say, it never happens.
And Chris, did you make any predictions on that one?
I said a draw, mate. I said 1-1, if I remember right. But Harry, who was on it with me, he predicted a Newcastle win.
Did I last week? I think I did.
I don't know, Laura. I was thinking about this. I think you and was it you and?
It was
you and Graham, wasn't it?
Graham definitely said get beat because he
definitely said.
Of course, he would have.
Yes, he did. He was very pessimistic about the whole thing.
He must be like anyone's game, Matty, like our Matty.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do think that I predicted a win, you know.
I might have predicted a draw then. Maybe he went loss, I went draw, you went win.
I'm going to say there's no way of checking. Unless you want to add to the views, you know what I mean? So, yes, really great result. Unexpected from most of us, apart from Harry, but I think it was an excellent. I would consider it a bit of a shithouse result. I think we took what we needed out of the game and walking wounded everywhere, and I think Leeds would be a bit disappointed.
Is a shithouse result, Roger? Is it not that team's outplaying you, then you nick it? That's surely a shithouse result.
Yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, I suppose, but by the end, just the amount of the injuries we had, the walking wounded.
It was a shithouse goal.
It was an absolute shit. That was a classic shithouse goal.
Right. Do you know what I loved about that? Like the interview afterwards, Shelby's scuffed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just got to own it. You know what I mean? Just got to own it.
Can you not remember the shithouse goal Dwight Gale scored down there when we were in the Championship? Where it literally just got pumped long, hit the bar, hit off his head and went in.
Yes, and was it the old England keeper? What was his name in goal? Oh man, he used to play for QPR and Norwich and everybody.
Anyway, can you?
I can't remember his name. Anyway, it was. I thought, all right, it was an unexpected win with a shithouse goal. I'll say that.
Take it.
Backtrack.
Right. So, as we've spoken over the last since the takeovers happened, there's been a lot of more content coming out from the club on YouTube and various channels, and they haven't let us down so far. Today or yesterday, they uploaded videos of the players training. Really interesting to see the players going through the paces in the boiling hot sun. I feel really sorry for Matty Longstaff, to be fair. Like, I mean, Laura being a fellow redhead, like, do you feel his pain there?
Like I said in the group chat, I don't know how he hasn't got 3rd-degree burns. Like, stepping off the plane, even at night time, I would have been a goner. Yeah. He didn't even look red in the photos, like in the trainer. I don't know if they filtered it just for his own protection, just because it's embarrassing. But
they've literally just brought him out for that one photo and then put him back in the shade.
Yeah.
It's like how, like, when you used to see the old shows where Michael Jackson used to, like, have an umbrella behind him or sunshine.
Yeah, maybe
somebody just following Matty with an umbrella.
Yeah. It's probably his brother. Do you know what I mean? So, so there was those interesting videos, but then, of course, there's always, like, you know, when you see players go away to foreign countries on these little junkets or jaunts or whatever J you want to call it, there's inevitably an embarrassing video comes out, and Newcastle United and our players didn't let us down. I believe Dwight Gale, Jamal Lascelles and Fabian Shaw dancing around, getting into the spirit of Saudi Arabia. There was one person partaking who looked fully invested in it. Ian, who would that be for you? Who was really buying into the moves and the culture and the dance?
Literally one of my favourite videos of the year so far is Dwight Gale just enjoying life. I don't know whether, like we said before, it's just because he's just happy to be a part of things. You know, he's not getting much game time. He's on a nice trip out in Saudi Arabia. Why not just let his hair down and dance about?
Yeah, it was. I mean, some beautiful moves.
How do you think they picked them? Or do you think they all had a go in that video, just made the cut? Or why them three?
I don't know. I reckon, right? I think Lascelles is like threatened by Trippier, and like Trippier doing captainy type of stuff, like getting his thighs out, sitting doing interviews, telling the players where to be on the pitch and that, you know, like
talking to Shearer. He's been talking to Shearer the day.
Chatting to Shearer, and I think like he feels a bit threatened, so I think he's like, no, I'll do that, I'll do that, I went, because
that's how he's getting his credibility back.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he realizes possibly he's on a slippery slope out of Newcastle in the near future, so maybe he's just trying to really invest in the investors and try and get his face out there. Chris, what did you make of it? What do you reckon? Fabian Shaw didn't look too happy either.
He was far too cool for it, wasn't he? He was like that dad that gets dragged up. Like, it always happens to me, to be fair. Like, when you go to, like, every time I take the kids somewhere, if I go to, like, a circus or something, I'm that person that the clown always picks. And, like, you stand up and you just feel like a bit of a dickhead in front of everybody. That's exactly how Fabian Shaw felt, and he just wasn't impressed by he's far too cool for that sort of shit, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm also that dad. Although I am a bit jazz hands with it, so like I really.
You would love it, Roger.
I was just going to say you'd be fully invested in that.
You would be Dwight Gale in that situation.
How did that glittery jacket get in my suitcase?
Yeah, I wasn't ready. No, I am. Yeah, the last birthday party I went to, I was like, oh no, Vic, I'll take the bend. Don't worry, you chill out, And I'm like, up Dean all the moves, you know.
I reckon you email the party entertainers beforehand and say, just let you know, I'm the one that'll be wearing like the blue t-shirt. So I'll do it. Just pick me.
I wear like athletic-ish footwear just in case, and jeans with a bit of give in them, you know, in case there's any sort of like bending and stretching that I need to do, because you know you don't want to be ripping your jeans at your Ben's party.
Roger, I went to this Marvel thing before. It was at the Customs House in South Shields, and it was like meet the Marvel characters, meet the Avengers, and there was Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, there was Iron Man, there was a handful of them, Spider-Man, and they had to pick two parents to come and do a dance-off with each other. Obviously, it was me that gets picked up. And there was this larger mother, I would say, that got picked up, right? And me, and she was like giving her all the 12-hour moves and that like this. So I thought, fuck this, I'm going to do the jump and split here. And I done it right. Fell over, didn't I? Took Hulk with us. I fell over, took him with us. Entertaining, though.
You can do a jump and split.
Well, I thought I could.
Why would you think you could do that?
Because I used to be able to do it, but then I got old.
Yeah. When was the last time you successfully executed a jump and split?
I reckon on the next night out, I reckon I could do it. Like,
right, I'm holding you to that
on the cobbles at the Old George.
Depending on what jeans I've got on, I'll give it a shot.
Right. Or maybe bring a carrier bag with a spare pair of jeans in, just in case.
I'm just up the road, isn't it?
I mean, aye.
Did you win that dance off, Chris?
Ah, yeah. That's the burning question.
No, I think the Lord your mother did.
Oh, did you? Outboxed you, you know what I mean? She just like outboxed you, totally. So another thing that came out, and there was a bit of a bit of traffic on Twitter about this, Chris. Howe's hat? Did you lend him that hat to do the training session in, or is it something that you've just got back from him, or I mean, just repping it. To what he's doing. He's just repping. He must be watching the podcast, and he thought, I'll take a bit of the podcast away to Saudi with us. He'll be doing a jump and split celebration next.
Jump and splits, aye. If somebody's doing the jump and splits, I bet you it's Tyndall. I guarantee you.
Yeah. I reckon he's got some moves. Like,
yeah.
I reckon Tyndall's got like isolations and all that. You know, I bet he's got like the full like you pull out the rope, pull out.
Just a lot of the photos you're seeing. It looks like a dad's stag do, isn't it? Like when you take your dad and your uncle on a stag do. That's what it looks like.
Graham Jones at the end and the flip flops and the shorts. Yeah.
They look like a couple of dads and uncles on stag do.
Definitely in Benidorm.
Yeah. At what age can you stop wearing those little short shorts with those sliders? Though, do you know what I mean? Like,
ever allowed to wear them.
Shouldn't be wearing sliders anyway. Let's be honest.
Oh, really?
What's wrong with sliders?
Yeah, what's wrong with sliders?
Oh my freaking god!
He's got them on.
I've got wood floors. You know what I mean?
Just wear your socks.
But then they get dirty.
No, because then you go
going in the wash at the end of the day.
If you've got wood floors, they're making a hell of a racket. Like I couldn't live with you.
Sweaty feet in that.
Flip, flop, flop, clap, clap. No, not a fan. Too noisy.
It's only clapping that's going on in Roger's house.
I knew as soon as I clapped, right? I knew someone was going to do something like that. I regret it instantly.
But if you walk around with your socks on and downstairs,
it's nice and quiet.
And then but then you go upstairs and you take all the cloths upstairs.
I'm not having it.
Cloth?
No.
From where?
How dirty is your floor?
I've got a dog.
This is why I live alone.
I mean, he doesn't shit in the house or anything, but you know, like he's
just you.
No, it's just me. Didn't go in the spare bedroom, pet. Anyway, right, we digress as always. So I promised myself I wouldn't talk about transfers, so I'm going to give a small window for transfers because it's bugging the hell out of us. I was going to swear there, but it's boring. It's frustrating. We chatted about really briefly there, Ian, before the other two guys joined us, but how Aston Villa just doing these businesses quietly? What's going on?
I know the Callum Chambers one literally came out of nowhere. There's nothing anywhere, and then all of a sudden he's signed on a permanent. I mean, he's not a signing that you would want people to know about, but yeah, they're going about. To be fair, Villa are doing really well in the transfer window. I think Gerrard's got a massive pull. So it's sad when you aspire to be someone like Aston Villa, really, isn't it?
It is. To be fair, do you think that probably us being there with all the money is kind of taking the focus off all the other teams? Like, obviously, Watford have sacked the manager and then signed a 24-year-old. And then other
24, is he?
Various other teams have signed players. And Chris, why do you think all of ours are just, it's a public knowledge, every single move that we make? Is it just the agents talking a load of crap, or is there lack of stability in the recruitment
probably because
team?
we're box office, mate. That'll be why. We're box office at the minute. Everybody wants to write about Newcastle. Everybody's got that wants to have the say in all things Newcastle United. Every agent wants their player linked with the club as well. Just to, even if it's not true, obviously we saw early on, Ashley Young, bollocks did that happen. Ashley Young
Yeah.
did not turn a move to Newcastle down when he knows for fine well he's going to double his wages. Bollocks. How old is he? About 40. That didn't happen. But I think it's the same thing. It's probably just agents trying to get better deals for the players by mentioning Newcastle's name, and that's all that is, mate. And
Yeah,
I think let's be honest. I know the Trippier thing wasn't under the radar, but it was pretty quick how that happened.
yeah.
You're only looking at a matter of days by the player agreeing, then I'm having his medical and playing for the club just a couple of days later.
I suppose it was the same.
It's just one of them.
I suppose it was the same with Chris Wood, wasn't it? You know, like that kind of happened quite quickly. We found about this release clause, and
that's all that is, mate. I think it's just because there's been so much shit thrown, and some of it's going to stick eventually with ourselves. And we'll have a different player. We'll have about 5 new players' names every single day these days. So, I said, it's just we're box office. That's all that is.
The latest one today was Dan Burn, over the last couple of days. Laura, do you know much about Dan Burn? But I know he's from Blythe. I know you have your connections up there.
Yeah, that is like literally the only thing I know about him. Like I have, like he's always a name that gets mentioned, like in the pub and that, because the Tom who I go to the match with, like as a family friend, he knows him well. So it's always like, oh, Dan Burn scored, Dan Burn's playing up here. So that's the only time. That's probably the only reason I would know his name other than that. But I would take him. I would.
Yeah.
I would. I've pretty much said when you said we were going to talk about transfers, I was quite glad today was relatively quiet because it was doing me head in. Like I was sick of like opening the group chat at like dinner time and in the morning before I started teaching, and then by dinner time when I was on my dinner, it was like, oh no, sorry, we're not signing him anymore. And it was like,
yesterday was ridiculous, Laura. Like absolutely ridiculous yesterday.
I've switched myself off from it until like it's dead and buried and set in stone. And to sum it up, I would sign anyone that would make we're better at the minute, and that's most people. Anyone that can do a job in the next few months to keep it up, which is the main priority.
Yeah.
So
I think the one with Dan Burn, I mean, I don't think he improves us hugely, but he's better than Clark, who's what other left side is.
He's better than what we've got, and that's the be all and end all at the minute is that question, is he better than what we've got? And most of the time the answer will be yes. So
I think the worrying thing though, Roger, is that we've been linked with all of these elite players, and maybe the club have set the goals a bit too high from our current situation. Yeah. You hear the likes of Diego Carlos, Botman, these players getting linked with you, then the next ones are Dan Burn. You think, like, and like I've said at the start,
there's somewhere in the middle of there, probably where we should be shotting.
There is. Yeah. The good thing about Dan Burn is if he wants to force a move, he probably could, because of the pull that Newcastle United would have for him. Obviously, moving back home, then playing for the club that he supports, it's a huge pull, and surely Brighton wouldn't stand in his way if he wanted to move. Yeah. It's just getting that price right, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly go to the comments. I know I've missed a few. Somebody mentioned about Clark have been jumping around. I do apologise, Ian, for putting this over your face. It should pop up, but who knows?
It's fine. It hides me double chin.
Joe Linton has joined us from Jeddah, and he says it's because we haven't got a director of football, but ITK information there. So I think for me, I wonder if the inexperience of the recruitment team is perhaps, they were guilty of leaking things when they first had the takeover, and little bits and bats came out, and maybe they haven't learned from that experience of just keep your mouth shut, do your business quietly.
Are you a little bit worried, Roger, that it might be too many cooks because we haven't got the director of football?
Yeah, well, probably. It's a massive window, and we should have had somebody in place. But then I'm of the belief that they need the right people in the right positions, and maybe they don't want to rush into it, and they're willing to take the risk with the knowledge that there's no guarantee we'll get out of the Championship if we get relegated, which I still don't think we will, but they're willing to. It's a calculated risk that they're taking, because in the summer it gives them the opportunity to really look at things, maybe really appoint somebody who they really want, and then start moving forward, whether in the Premier League or in the Championship. That's a reality that we're just going to have to face, unfortunately. But I do think it is a bit. There's too many cooks, and is it too many cooks spoiling the broth? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, let's go to some of the other comments as well. Stu probably hits it. We're trying to. It sounds like from what you hear on Sky Sports News. I haven't listened to TalkSport for the last 2 weeks, so we're trying to. Players the clubs don't want to sell.
Yeah, but is that not always the case? If you want to buy good players.
Yeah. It's all about finding these. I thought every player in the Spanish league has a release clause. Is that true?
Apparently that's a rumor, but I don't know if it's true, mate.
Yeah. Blue Monday, Burn, he's left-footed, and that's a reason for the interest. I think we can agree he's an upgrade on Clark, but I do think is he that much better than Shaw? Is he that much better than Lascelles? I know Lascelles has had a bit of a nightmare recently, but is he better than Fernandez? I don't know.
That's my problem, Fernandez.
Yeah.
So you bring a player in when you've got somebody like Fernandez that isn't even making the bench. I know he's been injured, but before that he wasn't even making the bench. Some games he came on against Norwich when Clark got sent off, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he looked superior compared to the rest of those defenders on the field. So why? I get it that we need to upgrade in centre back. I do.
Yeah.
But you've got an upgrade sat there that isn't being utilised. So if you bring somebody else in to go alongside the likes of Fabian Schär, Fernandez, then you bring that player in, then get rid of the likes of Lascelles and Clark.
Yeah.
You only need one, really.
Yeah. I mean, it was encouraging to see him, running about, jumping. Looks like he could be, on his way back. But for me, it would be him and Shaw. I don't know about you, Laura. Who would you have at centre back if they're all fit? Would you go with him and Shaw or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think they're your strongest, most reliable pair.
Yeah. Chris and Ian, would you agree with that? We reckon them too?
Yeah, definitely. I think Lascelles had a better game on Saturday against Leeds, but he's just got so many mistakes in him.
Yeah.
And I think when you play him, I think that reflects on the likes of Dubravka and then whoever's playing alongside them. They just look so nervous. So anyone at the minute would be an upgrade.
And I don't think it's bad to say that. I mean, Lascelles has been with us for years, and everyone comes to the end of that. Everyone's got a sell-by date, and everyone comes to the end of it. And unfortunately, we're now a bit like Richie. We're now coming to the time when they are ending their sell-by date. So
it's probably the right time for him as well, Laura. It'll probably do wonders for his career. And he's at Premier League side now. He's captain of a Premier League team. Fair enough. But it's going downhill from here, and you can see it coming a mile off. It's been like this for probably since Rafa left, to be fair. So it's probably wise for Lascelles to look elsewhere as well, see if he can find another club.
For me, he's a bit like he's a Titus Bramble without the ping. I think I said that last week. Like he's got that rick in him, and I think he is on a slippery slope. Just a big shout to Cousteau. I'm going to go Cousteau. Became a member. Chris, membership £2.99. There's
two options, mate. You can either become a member for £2.99 or £4.99. At this moment in time, you get the same things. You don't get any extra for being the $4.99 one. But that will be changing hopefully soon. Members get early access. But the main selling point for the membership at the minute is access to the Telegram group. Ian can explain the Telegram group. So Ian was a member of the channel first of all before he started helping out with videos and audio podcasts. It's busy in there, isn't it, Ian?
Very, very busy.
Yeah,
I think that's why my phone is so low on battery. Why I'm having to balance everything while it's on charge. It just drains your battery.
So there's 100. I think there's 104 members in there now. I think so. It's just basically that Telegram group. It's just a WhatsApp.
I haven't checked it in
10,000.
Couple of hours, an hour and a half, 127, and that is low. That must be a quiet night because I've seen it 500.
Yeah, I had 1,500. I think because my phone went off and I had about 1,500 messages. I just went wee.
Well, you know what Decker's like. Decker actually checked his last week. I think it was on the Monday night podcast, and he had 8,000 messages.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of impressive, to be fair.
He probably went through and probably just posted the same shit everybody else had about a million times. Because this is what Decker does, but there's 106 members. Somebody's just commented in the name, Roger. There's 106 members in the Telegram group. But like I said, it's basically a WhatsApp group, but it's private. You get a link when you do become a member, and you just get a chat with all of us guys and our members of the channel as well. It's good crack in there.
Aye, it is good crack. Aye,
especially when Roger's on the drink and he leaves.
He's pissed. He's pissed voice notes.
Yeah, you're not the only one who gets it.
Brothers and sisters.
All right, brothers. It's usually when I'm walking across the high level bridge and I'm like, right, brothers and sisters.
You can tell, can't you? That first word, even the first word's got a slur in it.
And you can hear the traffic, and I'm like, he's walking home. I know he's walking home.
Aye, I'll try not to do any this weekend. I'll try. I know there's no game, but I'll be on the high at some point. So.
Apparently, there has been issues though. If people all want to become a member of the channel, you can't do it on your phone. Apparently, you might have to go on the likes of your YouTube desktop. You can do it through your phone, but you can't use the app to do it. You've got to go through YouTube the old way, which is, I know, it's an absolute chew on. But yeah, appreciate it if you do sign up.
Yes, get involved. Right. So, kind of chatting about the main sort of things that have been going on. I'm sure that everybody else is covering at the minute. And I had a bit of a brainwave today. Well, the same as the Aussie. Was it Aussie Tune?
Aussie Tune Under?
Tune Down Under, maybe?
Aussie Tune Down Under. Big shout out to them for...
We're just making the name up.
You know how I mean. Anyway, so I was thinking in these weeks where there's not a lot happening, there's no game, there's nothing, there's now going on really apart from Eddie Howe's hat and Dwight Gale having a hell of a time, out in Oasis and in an oasis somewhere in the middle of Saudi Arabia. I thought I'd open up the ExtraTyne Hall of Fame. So I'd love people to get involved on that, obviously on the comments, but also on Twitter as well. We'll probably do it every few weeks. We'll set a new category for the Hall of Fame, and the people who are on the podcast will bring their suggestions to us. We'll have a little debate over it, and then we'll hopefully use tune polls to decide who goes into the Hall of Fame. And then you can comment underneath with yours as well. So originally there was going to be our favourite South American players, but like I said, my mind was read. So I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I thought, in the spirit of, Newcastle United is an absolute barn pot of a club. But we always have, even in the high times, in the low times, in the medium times, there's always that one player, that Maverick, who keeps us hanging on in there. For me, for a long period under Souness, it was Bellamy. And I'm sure we've all had our favourite Magpie Mavericks through the years. Going back, probably Davy Eddy and there's some of the other lads who are a little bit longer in the tooth and a lot more long-suffering than us Mags. They might be able to go back to, Billy Whitehurst, and I don't think there's anybody who'll be going back as far as Hughie Gallagher, but maybe Jinky Jimmy Smith, Tony Green. So those sorts of players, and obviously Gaza in the 80s and Mirandini and Waddle and all those sorts of players. Those players who are a little bit against the grain. So we've all come up with our own Maverick who we have idolised or who we've hung our hopes on in those games where now's happening and you just want something special to happen. Those moments in St James's Park where everybody gets to the edge of their seats. So in no particular order, we'll reveal who ours are and then we'll put it on Tune Polls. And then if you want to join in the comments or if you want to give a suggestion who you agree with on ours. And then please, if you've got your own favourite, because we won't cover all of yours, add the comments underneath with a hashtag Maverick Mags, please. So, Laura, I'll come to you first. All I want you to do is tell me who you've chosen, right, and then we'll get through everybody's, and then we'll come back to people and you can explain why you've chosen this person as your Maverick Mag. So, Laura,
yes,
I know you've done extensively on this one. So, can you hit us with it? Who is your Maverick Mag?
Ben Arthur.
Hart and Ben Arthur, nice. Mr. Wallace, who is your Maverick?
Well, because of your description at the very start there, mate, I think I might have to change mine because
no, you're not allowed because I was gonna explain like you've just
you can't change it last minute.
Yeah.
Well,
you've just got to say the name.
Hold on.
No, you've just because just because you're the boss, right? You've just got to say the name and move on.
I'm of the Hall of Fame for ExtraTyne, Laura.
Okay, sorry.
You can't
I think because you said somebody that can change a game in excitement, I don't think that was suggested in the WhatsApp group. That's not what we classed a Maverick as, was it?
Roger likes to do this. He likes to change.
I thought it said somebody that goes against the grain.
Come on. First it's the sliders, and now you're questioning my authority on what a Maverick is.
Right, I'll stick with my suggestion, even though it doesn't fit your description, but we'll go with him. And I'm going Alexander Mitrovic. He wasn't going to do anything in the game to change it, like, apart from, like, kick off and get sent off.
No,
So
like
you've ruined it for us, like, but fair enough.
He can't change a game by getting sent off. Like, that is how he can change a game.
That's not for the better.
Yeah, maybe it's not. Chris, if you want to change it to a new, change it, all right?
Well, but your description there, surely if we're going down the route of the likes of what Laura said, Ben Offer, so a flair player, individual player, that's beat Beardsley, doesn't it?
That wasn't an option.
But this is what I mean. I changed it because of Roger's description.
I got 3 options because I'm young.
I thought you was giving me examples.
Give me some suggestions.
You was giving me examples, man.
Oh, I thought I just had to pick.
You could choose these, or...
No, I thought I had to choose out of them 3, and I
no.
picked.
He was giving you examples.
Oh.
I'm fairly certain he then followed it up with just for... I'm sure he said just examples, literally after he sent the list as well.
I didn't read that bit. Right, sorry.
For more accurate stuff, kids. Right, so we'll come back to Chris, and he's decided what he's going to go with. 2 players from one end of the scale to the other. Ian, who is your player?
Mine was Cissé, Papi Cissé. Again, I know he's not a but yeah,
he is, because he could change the game out of nothing.
You know what
so
it is? Yeah, I kind of agree with Chris in this, where I thought we decided it was just someone that was a bit against the grain.
God. Yeah, well,
he was, but I'm sticking with Cissé because he was a bit of a maverick in the definition that I give.
The beauty is in your interpretation. All right.
Well, everybody's interpreted wrong apart from you, Roger.
Yeah, because I didn't even.
You haven't even heard who I've chosen.
I didn't even hear of I'd never heard of a maverick. So you sent us the definition before the podcast, and it says an unorthodox or independent-minded person. So that would mean like someone who's like does what they want, like Maximum, like
Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Well, then Roger at the start of this,
then Roger
adds an extra little sentence in there.
Gets you to the edge of your seat.
Yeah, but we're allowed
small print. There was an absolute small print in that, like Roger.
We're getting into semantics here.
We're allowed to explain in a minute when Roger's done his, so we can fight our corner.
I've gone with Tino Aspria then, right?
Oh, he picked the best one, didn't he?
Right. So, would anybody like to take the floor and go with their case?
Tell us why you have picked him, Roger.
Why have I chosen? Oh, Jesus! Wow. Where do you want to start? So, signed in the cold, bloody winter, and turned up in Laura's coat, that furry, like, I don't know what it was, yak, moose, yeti. I don't know what the hell it was. It was
Yeti.
It's called a teddy coat.
Fresh. What was it called?
Teddy coat.
Called a teddy coat. I mean, I think it was probably 3/4 length teddy coat. Fresh from Football Italia. You've been watching him on a Sunday for all them years, and then all of a sudden he's making his debut against Middlesbrough, turning Neil Cox inside out like a school jumper, and totally changed the game when he came on. I think he'd had a glass of wine before the game as well, if I remember a John Beresford story correctly. Mm-hmm. And the famous story of when he's on there. Have you heard that one? The famous story about the video.
Bus.
Oh, the
coach
on an away day,
yeah. So he's
fill in, Roger. Tell us that story.
So I think it was John Beresford. I think I was at a Newcastle day, and Keegan just used to let Tino do what he wanted. Tino used to play dumb about his level of English and all this, and he would say the lads would put a video on the way home from an away game, and Tino's like I have a video, and he puts his video in. And all the lads are like, probably a card school at the back, half paying attention to what's going on. And then all of a sudden, there's a glamorous lady comes on and meets a handsome man. And one thing leads to another, as it generally does when, people are in spitting distance of each other and they're having full-on sex. So Keegan jumps up and he's like, whoa, stop. Like they're all trying to get this video off. And he's like, no, this is my girlfriend. So he's, he's just trying to ingratiate himself with the players by showing a video of his current beau or whatever you call. And she's getting 6 out. So
getting Rogered. Hey.
There you go. So obviously that's not the only reason why he's a maverick. I mean, post-career, he made
condoms.
He's sold condoms. He's driven around his ranch dressed as a dinosaur. He's ripped off George Reynolds when he was going to sign for Darlington FC, if you remember, many, many moons ago. But on the pitch, he was frustrating, but he was fantastic at the same time. You know, you never knew what you were going to get from Tino. Didn't score as many goals as maybe he should have done, but what a player, what a man. I mean, the Met celebration with the flag, he's the hat-trick against Barcelona, single-handedly, well, him and Gift Gillespie absolutely ran a train on Barcelona at the time. So, and he's just Tino, you know, he's just Tino. So for me, absolute Maverick. Total loose cannon. What more can I say? Absolute legend. So he's my pick, but I cede the floor to anybody else who wants to.
Well,
to go
speaking
with
about loose cannons, Alexander Mitrovic.
There we go, you see.
So if we're going by the actual meaning of a Maverick, and somebody that goes against the grain, surely Mitrovic is the definition of that, because he came over as a Newcastle United fan. He fully admitted he wanted to come to, well, he played for previous clubs because they wore black and white stripes because of his love for Newcastle United. He comes on, does he get sent off in his debut?
No, he gets a yellow card within seconds, doesn't he? I don't know if he then got sent off, but it was like his first touch of the ball.
It just goes through somebody. But like, obviously, Rogers mentioned there the likes of Tino had a glass of wine, but Mitrovic looked like he had a bag before every single game he played. He was an absolute nutcase. And I think to be a Maverick, I think you need to split the fan base.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what Mitrovic done. There was fans that absolutely adored him and thought, right, stick with him because there's something special there. Yeah. If you can keep him on the field, he can create something. You saw it in the Norwich game when we were down, then we came back and won 4-3 in St. James's Park. That was down to him and Dwight Gale. But for me, a Maverick, it has to be him just because he's an absolute nutcase.
Yeah.
And that leads us on to Lores, another player who would split fan opinion as well.
Yes.
Good link.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
Oh, he knows the crack, doesn't he?
No, so I thought I had the pick of 3 from Roger's message. So I thought I had the pick of Mitro, Maximum, and Ben Arthur.
Shit, yeah, like.
No,
he's in America, mate.
It's on fire. So I picked Ben Arthur because I didn't think I could pick Maximum because I have called him out a few too many times, and I really, like you say, split the fan base. I was totally against Mitro, couldn't bear him, thought he was a liability, just wasn't a big fan. And I think it was because I'm very, I don't know if the stubborn's the right word, but whenever everybody, like all the people around me, like Chavez and stuff, really loved Mitro because he was aggressive, and when they loved him.
Chris, you're a Chavez.
No.
Shaman.
Raji. If you had been, you would have beat that woman in that dance-off, Chris. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I picked Ben Arthur, but like Chris said, he does split the fan base, and it was when I was like, I've obviously always liked football, but Ben Arthur was like when I was really starting to watch the games and take a massive interest in it and go into more games. And so he was just my Maverick in the sense that I think a Maverick, yes, I think they need to go against the grain and do their own thing and be kind of unprofessional in some ways, selfish, things like that, but also the skill to go with it. In my opinion, he had way more skill than Mitro. And I feel like when I watched, obviously, before we did this, I watched some like highlight reels and things just to recap my memory. And I felt like he always, well, on the highlight reel, obviously, he got highlights, so it's his best bits. But he always found the pass more than Maximum does. So out of the 3 that you gave us, I would choose him. And obviously, like, he's amazing goals that he scored, like his individual goals, his wonder goals, like his first one in the I watched before it was his first home goal against Blackburn, brilliant. The Bolton and
the FA Cup,
the Bolton, obviously the individual one, Fulham scored a couple of, and so out of the 3 that you gave us, that's why I chose him.
I think Laura's summed it up quite well. Like somebody,
Oh, thank you.
I think a Maverick is somebody who is quite unprofessional as well. And I think so far with the likes of Tino, Ben Arfa, and Mitrovic, they're all quite chunky lads as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they clearly didn't really care about obviously being that player that who's on the field left, right, like there all day, every day. First one there, last one off.
They wouldn't be bothered about
Loved the grub as well, didn't they? Loved the
Yeah.
grub. And like Ben Arfa, the stories I've heard about Ben Arfa, he literally did not give a shit about football at all.
Yeah.
He knew he was good, like really good, but that was enough for him.
Yeah. Aye. What might have been. So, Ian, Cisse.
Yes. So yeah, actually, it's worked quite well because Laura's just been talking about superb goals, and I think that's why I chose Cisse because we bought him. I think it was a January transfer window.
Yeah.
Debut against Villa. I think it was
you must have watched our show the other week, did you, Bonnie lad?
And his first goal was just phenomenal when we won. So that set him up to be like for massive things to come of him. And I think definitely the first season and a half, he was just phenomenal. And when you sign a striker, that's to score goals. But I don't think he ever scored a bad goal. Like you could give him the ball 30 yards out and he'd lob the keeper, he'd hit it in the top corner. Yeah. Give him a ball 5 yards out for a tap, then he didn't know what to do with it. So he's a Maverick in a sense because he doesn't score the goals that you would think a striker should, but he never scored a bad goal. He's double against Chelsea as well. The first one was as good as the second one.
Underrated that first goal.
I think it is massively. He takes it on one foot and hits it with the other. Yeah. And then one of my favourite goals was his one against Swansea when we were wearing the orange kit.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how he hit it, but it just sort of like looped up like perfectly into the top corner. So yeah, that's why I've went for my Maverick as Cisse. But
have we ever had a player that hit a purple patch like Cisse did? Like, I know obviously, if you go back like Shearer, you're expected, Shearer was an established international, Ferdinand was an established international, but like, and he was known to all of us, but like when Cisse kind of came from Freiburg, he was a bit of an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
Well, surely you've got to say Joe Willock last season.
Yeah.
What was it? 7-7 or 8-8 he got?
Joe Willock, like he went on an absolute unbelievable run.
Yeah.
I think he matched the record for goals consistently.
Consecutive goals,
yeah.
So him and I wouldn't say he's a Maverick though, is he?
There's a good shout there in the comments as well, mate, from Jude Love. I'd say Cisse scored off his backside, didn't he? And I'm sure Sammy Amiobi, if I remember right, Sammy Amiobi blasted the ball like goal and it might have hit us. Cisse's also went in.
Yes, it was. I think it was against West Brom.
I can't remember.
I think it was close to the 89th minute or something. I might be wrong, but I'm sure it was West Brom at home.
I'm sure it's Sammy. I'm sure it's Sammy Obi absolutely smashes the ball and it's going well out, like it's going miles away, and it hits off Cisse's also and goes in.
Completely forgot about that one. See, even that one was a good one.
We've got Blue Moon Boy. He reckons he's more of a cult hero than a Maverick. And then
are they not similar though? Is a cult hero and a Maverick not something really similar? Because a cult hero is never going to be a legend at a football club, will it?
I think for me a cult hero is like a player like
Peter Lovenkrands.
Kitspire.
Yeah, well, Kitspire is but like Scott Sellers, for example. I know I'm going back years now, but like Scott Sellers was like, he came from Leeds. He wasn't like a fantastic like star, but he was he was consistent. He was, and he scored against Sunderland. You know what I mean? So like players like him are like, for me, they're like, obviously I would say Tino's a bit of a cult. He's a cult hero as well, but they're maybe slightly under the radar. You have to be in the cult to appreciate them.
I'm sure people just make up these phrases. I hear people say the words cult hero and Maverick all the time, but I never know like what they is like. Was it you, Chris, you were saying on your podcast that Joe Linton's becoming a bit of a cult hero? Is that like someone that's like I think if you keep his form up,
so I think not necessarily underdog, but somebody that if Joe Linton keeps his form up, it'll be somebody that you'll remember
And
that
everyone
played for the
loves.
football club, and you'll always have a certain memory for him. For me, that's what it called. So Ketspire, like if you think of Ketspire, there's always that one thing that you go to where he's kicking the boards.
Would
Jonas?
do?
Yeah, I think Jonas.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Jonas might have actually, because of the game against West Ham, and obviously the turmoil with the club and everything which happened, I'll probably say Jonas will probably go down as a club legend, to be fair.
Well, that might be upcoming. You never know. In the next Hall of Fame, we'll have club legends. We'll have culture.
Jonas was my South American one. Jonas was.
He could probably be a Maverick as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Can I just say on the Cisse thing? So Cisse's debut, the one thing I remember, and I mention this all the time, is when he's warming up. He's warming up, and he keeps on running around, and he goes behind the goal, and it's surely he has to go and get him. So Shola's going behind the goal to drag him back, thinking, no, you've got to warm up like in this little stretch. Yeah. Like, is it different in Germany, or did he just make that up?
Maybe he was just really excited.
Do you think that it's in this day and age of the way the modern footballer is, with all the sports science around it, is it harder to be a Maverick? I feel like back in the 80s and the 70s, these Maverick players, like I'm trying to think of players from other teams. Oh bollocks! Like, who's the kid from?
It's gonna be really hard to think of other teams when it's a Newcastle United podcast by Newcastle United fans.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there was. Like, George Best was a Maverick, because he was out. You knew that when he wasn't on the pitch.
Mate. He's a legend when he's at clubs.
He's a Maverick as well, because when he's off the pitch, he's off the pitch activities were almost as
he's an absolute shagger.
As random as he's on the pitch, So is it harder to be a Maverick, or is I think from my generation to some of your generation, the definition of a Maverick is maybe changed?
I think it depends who your manager is. I mean, the likes of Steve Bruce, Pardew, they would more likely have a Maverick in their team because they'll let somebody do what the hell they want.
They're reliant on a Maverick.
Whereas your Man Cities and your Man Uniteds and your higher teams aren't going to allow a Maverick because they've got to be so professional and actual athletes. Like
good shout.
That's a great shout.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. So if you look at the two that were mentioned before in Ben Arfa and St Maximum, they're very much that under Steve Bruce and Alan Pardew.
They're probably bench players, mate. The bench players, because they can have that bit of liability to their side of the game as well.
Yeah,
we adore that sort of player because they're a Maverick. To them, they're going to be a liability.
Yeah.
Well done, Laura.
Thank you.
Yeah, great shout. Do you think that under Eddie Howe we're less likely to have Mavericks in the team? Like, is Alan St Maximum going to be long term an Eddie Howe type of player? Does Eddie Howe, does he have Mavericks in his team? I'm trying to think of his Bournemouth time. His time at Bournemouth. Did he have those players who were?
To be fair though, like as a club, I might just be completely rose tinted here with me black and white specs on, but we've always had that one player at Newcastle United, even in the best of the times in the 90s. Ginola would probably be classed as a Maverick.
Yeah,
to be fair. Yeah. So you've always had that one player, and like Laura said, Ben Arfa, that team around Ben Arfa were decent players.
Yeah.
So you've had him in there as well during that time. So I think as a club, we've always had one of them in and around the team. So maybe it's just a Newcastle thing. Maybe it's an underdog thing. Yeah,
maybe it is. Yeah. Just a quick shout. I don't know who Marty. I don't know this player. James Garner. I don't know who James Garner is.
I was laughing at the weekly shower thing.
Wasn't he? Sorry for I was getting my weekly showers. Emily says to James Garner. I wonder whether Maverick. I'm going to Google James Garner, and I reckon he's a television show. He's a television star. James Garner. Oh, he's an American actor. Come on now. Come on, Marty.
Was he
there's a few shouts for Dyer as well. Kieran Dyer being
wasn't Maverick out of Top Gun?
No, he played Brett. He played a guy called Brett Maverick. So I mean,
Maverick is the nickname of the pilot in Top Gun. Yeah.
At least we didn't fall for any made up names. Lester. You know what I mean? So at least we didn't fall for Mo Lester or anything like that today. Kieran Dyer, Maverick.
Aye, because he's a bit of a dick as well. Aye.
Yeah,
but he was a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sign a thing for me. I was in the gate, and him and Carl Court signed me popcorn, and Kieran Dyer wouldn't.
How big was the pencil?
What?
What?
Or the
Oh, the little bit of popcorn.
Oh,
Jokes.
that was
I was on your
awful.
wavelength there. That's weird you mentioned Colco and Kieran Dyer, because touching what me and Roger were talking about when I found me Panini stickers, I remember going to Merlin's swap shop and you got
God.
Oh man,
At
Get
the
comfortable,
stadium.
guys.
Laura hasn't got a clue, but I remember the
Not a
pop-up
clue.
shops.
It's not a wizard
that
thing,
was
Laura.
at St James's, and Kieran Dyer was supposed to be the one there that was like the guest star that was like signed a big picture and ended up being called court. So maybe they just like had an arrangement where I kind of be asked to do autographs
You
called
do it.
Euro.
Have
Bobby
any of you
Robson
seen?
probably said the wrong one.
Have any of you seen that classic video of Dyer when he was a trainee at
Ipswich.
Oh,
Have you
and
seen
the
it?
guy
Great.
interviews him.
Yeah, the guy in the street just interviewed. Have you seen it, Ian?
No.
Oh, it's
So
kind
there's a guy. He's like a fan of Norwich, or they're in Norwich City Centre.
I think he's just a news presenter or something.
He's a news presenter, and he's like he's interviewing people about the upcoming what do they call it? El Tractico or something? Was it the tractor?
don't know.
The
Tractor
Norfolk
Derby or whatever it
yeah.
is. And they stop and say, "Excuse me, come ask you about what you think of the rivalry between Ipswich and he's like, and he looks, he like does a Kieran Dyer like shrug, and then it slowly establishes that he's like, well, I play for Ipswich, and the guy's like, oh, do you? And he's like, I think he's a bit taken aback by it, but you don't know who I am. Like,
Yeah.
He's in the academy, isn't he, at the time or something?
yeah,
like
he's in
that?
the academy. I think he's played for the first team a couple of times, but
I think, Roger, on the back of this one, I think we might have to do, so your next one for Extra Time might have to be Cult Heroes.
Cult Heroes.
Because that list for Cult Heroes is long.
Massive.
Oh, mate. Absolutely immense. I mean, it's really difficult because obviously we're all roughly of the similar generation. So you people like Marty.
Bollocks.
I don't think we are.
What's off, man? Are we all? I'm still in my 30s.
Are you?
Wearing sliders.
Just. Oh my God.
When you put it like that, maybe give up the sliders.
Honestly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can get a transfer as well, you know.
All right, you can piss off the truth as well.
Bastards. Right, so, yes. All right, I'll get rid of the sliders. Okay, I'll get rid of the sliders. Right. Can I wear flip-flops, still?
The ones where
when
you
you're on holiday,
between them.
you wouldn't leave the house in your sliders, would you?
When did they become sliders and not called flip-flops anymore?
Oh, slide, they've always been
No,
around, Laura. So flip-flops go between your toes.
Yeah.
Sliders like a
right,
slipper
okay.
without toes on the front.
Right. I'd say they're flip-flops to me.
No, sliders.
No, because you slide them on.
Slide your foot in.
I get it, but I've always called them flip-flops.
No,
Like
flip-flops
when I
are the
use-
ones that go between your toes and actually make that noise you were making before.
The flip-flop. Yeah.
And do you know what they call them in New Zealand?
Thongs, don't they?
Thongs.
I thought you were going to say flop-flip.
Maybe.
Because they're down back to front. That's what.
Oh, there we go. It's the old farm derby. There you go. Thank you, Darryl. I knew Darryl would come in. Yeah.
El Tractico was better, like.
El Tractico?
I'm sure.
It's the best.
You know.
It's an unreal name.
El Tractico. See, Scotty O's helping us out. Now wrong with the slider.
Oh, he's an absolute pervert as well.
Is that our Scott?
That's us, yeah.
Oh,
Because you wear sliders, it's like a pervert shoe, isn't it? It's like
It might be
Crocs.
all right in
we
Amsterdam.
wear sliders in the shower. Dyer and Bellamy. Bellamy, bit of a maverick. Was Bellamy a bit of a maverick? I think I will have. There'll be a hothead. There's going to be a hothead Hall of Fame, definitely. So
I'll come back with Mitrovic then.
Mitrovic doesn't get in here, then maybe he gets in there. But so I'm just going to go and check really quickly. I put it up on Toon Polls a little while ago because if you put a poll on, you must tag.
Oh shit! Did you do it?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, my phone's right in front of us, so I can't do it.
And we have had.
It's going to be Ben Alpha.
It's at the moment. We've only had 28 votes, so you know what I mean. So up your game, guys. Come on. We've had Mitrovic 7%, Cisse 14%, Ben Arfa 36%, and Tino 43%. So
really?
maybe it's Chris, Ian, and Laura, if you all want to retweet it, because I know you've got infinitely more followers than me. I'm sitting here on, let's have a little look. 522. Come on.
Well done, mate.
I think I have 108.
Oh! I'll follow you. You follow me. We'll both have one extra.
I already follow you, mate. You just never followed us back.
Hold on.
Slider crew.
Hold on. No, I do.
I think you do, yeah.
I do. All right. Jesus. Right. No, you've got 278 now, man.
What? Hey, that retweet you put out.
What can I say? Like, this is my reach. Do you know what I mean? It's quality. You know, Chris has got like, how many you got, Chris? Thousands.
On the what?
Oh no, you haven't got a Twitter.
I've got a private one. No, I've got to delete my private one. That had about 3,000. The private one.
And he's friends with Ryan Taylor.
That had about 3,645. I don't know.
No, but like the Gallowgateshots one as a whole, like I'm not taking credit for that one, but Gallowgateshots has got 32,000. I think.
It's got like 32,000. I don't know.
I've just fucking saying as a whole. I put them all in the same bubble there.
Aye. Oh, so really, I've got those followers as well.
Well, no, maybe you can't because you wear sliders, but Laura can have some.
Yes. True. You know what? Next night out, I'm going to wear sliders.
No,
there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to be home by about 9:30 with a slash tour because Mark or somebody will have dropped glass. And
sorry, I'll probably get kicked out of the pub anyway.
Absolute mess.
For doing the jumping splits.
Yeah. So at the moment we're on 44 votes. So please, if you're on Twitter, get involved. Hopefully Chris will retweet, Ian's going to retweet, and Laura's going to retweet, and we'll see where you go with our suggestions. And of course, underneath, if you want to comment on who your cult heroes, who your Maverick is, it'd be really appreciated. So, I think we've had our fair share, but I think next time I'll be very clear, Laura and Chris, on the classification and what, it's the first.
And I quite like a short list so that I can pick from them as well. Please.
You were complaining about that before.
Are you?
Because it was a really short list.
Yeah, quite a few, like a chunk.
A chunk list.
Not as big as Newcastle's transfer targets list.
Oh, no, not them.
Yeah.
And
not
actually players I've heard of because I haven't heard any of them.
Can we just say, though, I think the word Maverick, when you think about the word Maverick, you do automatically think of the likes of wingers for some reason.
I thought that mind.
So Ben Arthur, for me, is a prime example of a Maverick. And it just, my brain just goes winger. Somebody that can do step overs and a winger.
Yeah, because a defender can't be a Maverick because they can't be like a
liability. I disagree.
I don't know.
Disagree.
What about Colaccini doing overhead kicks?
Yeah.
For no apparent reason.
True.
Maverick.
Philippe Albert was a bit of a Maverick. He scored goals for fun,
Fabian Schär could probably be a bit of a Maverick as well because he loves going on a little adventure with the ball.
Yeah, maybe he's aye.
But now we're totally going off what we thought was a Maverick. I thought a Maverick
what
was...
Roger said a Maverick was.
But I thought a Maverick was kind of fat, ate kebabs, did what they want, unprofessional, but brilliantly skillful, like naturally skillful.
So tight as bramble.
So, according to Talk Snort, apparently we've completed a deal to sign Leon midfielder Bruno.
We completed the deal 2 days ago, man. What's going on?
Guimaraes. So we're all going to have to learn his name, apparently. But
Bruno.
We'll see.
We'll just go with Bruno, mate.
For Blue Moon Boy, I think he's on the same wavelength as you, Chris. I think a Maverick equals Nutter. So
I'm going to argue with myself, though, because I think a Maverick... I think of a flair player with Maverick.
Opinions about certain things. I wouldn't class him as a football nutter, but I think I would say Tino is definitely a nutter.
Mm-hmm.
Cisse is not a nutter. Ben Arfa is definitely a sandwich short of a picnic. And Mitrovic, I mean, he's never had a picnic, that kid. I mean, wow. Jesus. He was,
Maverick Czech Teotihuacan used to demand Papi Cisse used to cook him Senegalese rice all the time.
Really?
Teotihuacan just used to turn up at his house and demand that they cook him rice.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
I guess.
All of his wives just used to walk up. All the rice.
Yeah. Wow. God rest his soul. Rest in peace. So we'll see. And I think Tom probably speaks for us all when he says take it with a pinch of salt. I would suggest maybe take it with a grit box as well.
Do you know what it is? It just to round it up on transfers, I want to say two things, right? Yes, people have sources, and these pundits, presenters, sports journalists, they do have sources. And we've seen so many times, this deal's done, but it hasn't been done no matter who it's coming from. So I think now we're at a point where we just have to wait, and when the official news comes out, or they're on their way to have a medical, I think that's at the point where, right, it's serious. The club's end of the business is done. Now we're just waiting for the final deals with the player.
But didn't Keith Downey say that?
A medical's been booked. Yeah, being booked apparently.
Doing it in Brazil or Ecuador or something, wasn't he?
Apparently. But then I think we'll need to come together and stop believing Newcastle fans who think that they know what's going on, because they don't.
Yeah.
No one has a clue.
No one has a clue. So if there's a Newcastle fan there that's saying, this player's signing, fucking block them. Like, honestly, I could go on a rant about these accounts, because all these accounts do it for is to get interaction, to get the follower count up. That's all they're bothered about. They have no clue.
And it doesn't matter if it's good interaction or bad interaction. It's all interaction. So even if you're quote tweeting them saying a load of bollocks, like, you're still giving them interaction, you're still giving them a platform.
What you see?
And look at the takeover, for example. Look at the takeover. Like, everybody thought it was dead. All of a sudden, shit, it's happening. And that happened within 24 hours.
Nobody knew.
Some bell end setting bike isn't going to know what's happening with transfers from Brazilian players. Definitely not.
So what you're saying is Ian and I need to start upping our game with our ITK crack to get more followers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I'll probably block you.
It's
worth it.
It's worst things that happen. I won't invite you to my Gateshead slider party. You know what I mean? It's invitation only. Slide on in there. You know what I mean? So
no children allowed.
Yeah, you need to put that Captain Cook drink away right now.
What's it actually called?
Let's have a look
at this. Captain Cook.
What? It is called Captain Cook?
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
So everybody's got a favourite Aldi alternative. I was drinking some of that.
Captain Cook, yeah.
What was that Corona? The Corona alternative? No, not Bandito.
No, that's the Desperados knockoff.
Yeah, the Bandito they had, but then they had a Corona, not virus, beer alternative, and it was like absolute nectar. Ian, what was your favourite again? What was yours?
From
wasn't alcoholic?
Yeah, it was from Aldi. Dr. Pepper's knockoff, Professor Peppy.
Yeah,
it's mint like
classy.
Tastes just the same as well. Fraction of the price.
So, as we draw to a close, I'm going to go to Toon Polls.
Has Toon Polls even retweeted this poll?
No, probably not.
He doesn't follow.
Yeah,
he's quite good with stuff like that, but he hasn't checked.
Doesn't follow me. See, this is the type of exposure I need. You know what I mean? If I can get Toon Polls on board, then stratospheric.
Then
I'll not
you
be
go
wearing
in
sliders
places
anymore. I'll be wearing
so
Crocs.
Can we see if we can do it right now? Hang on.
Oh.
Where's he gone?
Have I gone?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see us or just hear us?
Get your disco light.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What? So you can just hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on. Right, give us 2 seconds.
I just thought your light went out.
He's going to come back doing the whole disco thing.
Yeah, he's disco light.
Yes. I've still got Tino out in front for me, like 62 votes so far, but maybe it's when your masses of followers hit it. You know what I mean? They've got an hour and 3 minutes left, so if you get Toon Polls to follow me.
I don't know if you know. I don't even know if he. Oh, he does follow me.
Oh, he does follow me. I've got 3,000 followers.
No, I haven't.
No,
Our Jess is even in his bio tagged.
She is, yeah.
What?
Whoa.
Oh my god. I do quite enjoy Toon Polls as
he's back.
When he was on about he's on his way to Saudi and he's part of the management team. It's like hilarious.
I've sent him a text, mate. He may follow you.
My champion, Kushti. Right, so hopefully I'll get a retweet of Toon Polls and then I'll maybe reveal it later and we'll see what the results were. But at the moment, out in front is Tino, followed by Ben Arthur, followed by let's have a look, followed by Cisse, and then Mitch. Chris mine Mitrovic. I didn't expect Mitrovic to be behind.
See, I would have
Because
said
I think this is what I was saying at the start. People think the word Maverick is that sort of flair player, and Mitrovic couldn't be any further from that flair player. So
definitely a Maverick though.
Is he though? I'm arguing with myself. I've turned into fucking Mark. Fucking hell.
What player goes to snap someone's neck when they score a winning goal?
No, but that's just. I think if this was a poll for shithouse, then he probably would win it.
Yeah.
Or like Nutcase, like Roger said. So you've got a handful there, but Mitrovic is always going to top some of those. Like,
yeah. Well, don't worry. You'll have the opportunity to contribute to those as we go forward through the season. We'll have more Hall of Fame, but at the moment, Tino's out in front, so stay tuned to my excellent Twitter account, and you'll see the result of that in about an hour. So you've got an hour. Toon polls, please follow us and retweet it, and we'll see if we can get some exposure on it. See where we go.
Do you know what it is? Like, I know how like everybody else feels. Like, do you know, like when we do the podcast on a Monday night, and they go, "Oh, to go for another 10 minutes? Go for another 10 minutes." I know how they feel now. Like, I just want to stay here all night and drink me Captain Cooks.
So good. See, it's the lack of stress of hosting. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. You just sit there, have your Captain Cock, and just enjoy life. You know what I mean?
Captain Cock.
That's what you can do.
I have the things to do. I can't sit here all night.
Oh, Markin.
No, I don't mark.
Another exclusive there for the education department at was it Tyneview? I can't remember the school.
Well, don't name them.
I know, Jesus Christ, Roger.
Tyneside. I don't know what it is. Tyneside. Right. So I think on that bombshell, I think we'll wrap it up. At the moment, Tino is ahead, and through the comments, people like Tom and a few others have definitely gone with Tino for me. Laura, at least I didn't mention menstruation again. Do you know what I mean?
What?
Have you not seen it yet, Chris?
What?
Oh, mate, we had an absolute nightmare. So
You start talking
Laura,
about what?
when we did our top 5, what was it, January signings? Laura and I had exactly the same top 5.
Oh,
and then
it's like when you're in the same room around each other and you're saying,
and I was
oh,
it's because we do the podcast. I says, oh, we'll start menstruation together as well. And I was like, as soon as it wasn't like fully formed, and it just came out my mouth, and I was like trying to suck it back in, and
story of your life, isn't it, mate?
You know what I mean, that's what I've been through. You know what I mean? I've been through some tough times. That's why I wear a hat all the time. Anyway, so
shit.
I think we'll end there on that bombshell again. But please do remember to give us a like and a follow and a subscribe. Is this right, Chris? What do I need to be saying here? Like, subscribe, become a member for $2.99 at the moment, or $4.99 if you want to give us a bit more cash, because it really helps us out, doesn't it, Chris?
Yeah, mate, it helps pay for the studio. We do have a studio. I don't know why we're all sat at home, but we do have a studio. Which we pay. Yeah, you were there last week. I saw you there, mate. I know you were there. So we do actually rent a studio, and the studio's fucking mint. Let's be honest. It is class of studio. So yeah, you can, like Roger said, become a member for $2.99 or $4.99 a month. It's appreciated massively. It just helps us invest more into the podcast and things like that. So yeah, appreciate it massively. And
do you have something coming up with Ryan Taylor in the next couple of weeks?
So we done one with Ryan 2 weeks ago. So we'll probably be doing one. I'll probably say it'll be next week now. There's no point doing one before the transfer window closes. Yeah. So I'll probably catch up with Ryan next week or the week after. And
can you tell what any of your special guests on Monday?
No.
Right.
So I'm still working on the special guests. There's a couple lined up. So on Monday night, the Horseman. That slider, right? Do you know what it is? Do you know how the studio's full of like Newcastle memorabilia?
I'm going to
put that on my desk. That makes it worse.
Our lass hates them.
I'm not surprised.
I remember when I bought. I've got a pair of Nike sliders, and we wear those. They're like communal sliders.
We wear those.
Yeah.
Like one each?
Not at the same time. Like,
you got the same size
you
feet
share
as your lass?
No, but like they're in the same ballpark. I don't know. They're just communal. That's the beauty of sliders. You can just slide your foot in and slide your foot out.
You don't wear other people's footwear.
You got verrugas?
No, but if they're at the bottom of the stairs and you need to like feed the dog, or you need to like go into, you just slip them on and you're away,
is it like when,
slide
you
the
used to
ball.
put, like when your ma used to tell you put the bin out and you just used to put whichever shoes were closest, you used to go out in your ma's heels and that.
Yes, exactly.
Ma's
It's just like
heels.
living with your mom, Chris.
How do you know what it's like living with my ma?
Totally.
Oh dear.
Yeah, what we're talking about?
Your special guests on
Oh, special
Monday?
guests. I
Yes,
can't name any
special
as of
guests.
yet, but there will be plenty of people from Gallowgateshots team that'll be jumping in throughout the night. So the Always Smiling Faces podcast lads are doing a 4-hour stream on Monday night. We're going to be kicking off at 7:30. We'll be going right the way through till 11:30.
Yeah.
And there'll be plenty of people joining us throughout the night as well. So it's going to be a long 4 hours, but it's probably going to be pretty entertaining towards the end because we're bringing cans.
I mean, I haven't had an invite for that.
Mate, you're just up the road. You're just up the road. You know, if I find where you can just
all right, okay.
get yourself down. Always welcome, mate.
No.
Just
Right,
don't bring them friggin' slider.
Oh, mate, I'll be sliding on in there, like, honestly.
Do you know what there are sliders, right? And this will make, if Decker's got sliders, you're in the wrong.
Oh.
Nah, see, I always think Decker looks quite well turned. I loved his jumper the other day.
No, you're the only person that loved that jumper.
His roll neck was nice.
No, it was.
He's got some naughty gear. I bet you Decker's got sliders.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I would say he's the gold standard.
No, Mark.
He's that cool dad that is too cool to do dance off.
Yeah. He would be able to do a jump and split.
He would have won the dance off.
Yes.
He'd do a jump and split holding a banana split. That's how cool daddy is. So do you know what I mean? Eating a split neck. Pea and wearing a roll neck, that's what he would do. So anyway. Right, so that's the end of ExtraTyne, possibly for the last time, who knows? So at the moment, Tino is the head of our Hall of Fame for our Maverick. Definitions, have your own, but we'll see. And next time, we'll have another go at putting somebody else in our ExtraTyne Hall of Fame. So I do appreciate, thank you very much, Ian, for joining us this evening.
It's been a pleasure.
There's Maxie, a Maverick of his own. Laura, as ever, thank you for joining us. And Chris, nice for your input. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your take on sliders, even if I don't agree with this. But we'll respectfully disagree, which is what we should be able to do in this modern world. So, see you later, everybody. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for sharing. Do what you can. Go on to Toon Pools and have a look at it. And give us your ideas on who your Maverick is. And we will see you next time. Stay alert, everybody. Stay alert. See you later. Ta-da.